Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Lotus Evia in Asphalt 9 multiplayer. Now, because I will not be able to get this car, Pro Team Ra1NMan has given me some races in his 4-star one, and so we will see in this video how it did in its multiplayer season against a bunch of other Evias. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these, or most of them really, were going to be at lower stars, because getting this car at 4 stars is not the easiest feat. First of all, you have to be able to get this car, and that's not easy in itself, as this is probably one of the more difficult normal special events, if not the most difficult one of all time, because it is the first one of them that I have not been able to get the car in. And because apparently packs come after you unlock the car, it will still take another 10,000 probably or plus tokens to get this car to 4 stars. Now I know some people have gotten it to 6 stars, and I may try to get a video about that as well. But enjoyed these races here, and we will get to see how this car performs at not quite its max level, but at a level higher than most people are likely going to be able to get it in this special event, which is currently still running with 5 days and 7 hours left at the time of recording. But to give you an idea of just how hard and frankly a waste of time this event is, I'll tell you that only 4 people in the 2nd Legions United Club out of 20 have gotten a single blueprint for it. Now those of us who did got 30 to 40-ish. I have approximately 35, and I think you need 55 to get the car. But you would just have to max gold so many different cars in order to even unlock it. That would require 10,000 tokens plus. That's really not worth it for a car that's no better than the Apollo and Huracan for the most part, which a lot of people already have maxed, especially the Huracan. So for the vast majority of people, what I would recommend to you if you are playing this event is to just stick with the first, 5, 6, 7 days or something, where you can drive this car, get some rewards, you can use some of the other cars in the event if you have them at not max stars. You can use them, I think, at whatever stars you have them at, and basically just get all the rewards that you can from the event without spending hardly anything on it. This was something that I recommended in quite a few of the old very hard Asphalt 8 R&Ds, and I am now beginning to recommend it here as well. That's kind of funny. What goes around comes around, I guess. I just don't understand why they decide to make this event out of everything that they've had so difficult, because beginning with the Batista and then the Rimac event, the special events were getting easier. Like, it was quite easy to unlock both the Rimac and the Batista. I think for the Batista, you could get it using only the Viper and maybe one other car, and then it was difficult to star up, but you could at least get it. No, this car makes it so that you really have to struggle and max gold a lot of cars in order to even get it. And then we had the Rimac, which had that super long and grindy event, but you could spend 5,000 tokens and get 5 different cars 5-starred, including the second best car in the game. And then they make this thing here. I just don't get it. So let's talk about the car itself. Afik said it is not particularly fun to drive even up to 5 stars, and only at 6 stars does it really actually seem to get pretty good. Not to say that it's terrible at lower stars, just that it doesn't really feel like a king until you get way up there. Now let's compare its stats wise to the Huracan and Apollo to see where it really has advantages and where it doesn't. So beginning with the Huracan, it has worse acceleration, handling, and nitro efficiency, but its top speed is higher by 15 miles per hour. On the other hand, the Evia has slightly better acceleration, handling, and nitro efficiency than the Apollo, but is slower by around 3 or 4 miles per hour. So it is pretty much set to be kind of a middle ground between those two cars, if you think about it that way. Which sounds good and all. Who doesn't like a well-rounded car? But unfortunately, that means it doesn't really have a big proficiency, I guess, on any real track. Now, I do think it can beat the Apollo on most tracks due to it having mostly better stats and just slightly lower top speed. However, on the very longest and straightest tracks, the Apollo might actually be able to pull it out. And then on the twisty tracks, or a lot of them, given that we have Osaka and Caribbean added recently, which are very twisty, the Huracan's probably going to be able to beat this car. Now, whether this car can beat the Huracan on more tracks than the Huracan can beat it is still to be determined. It's going to be not easy to do the cars to the top of B class in my best and worst cars in each class list, which I still plan to come out before the next update. Hopefully the next update isn't super soon, because I still have to make the multiplayer list for that. As I said in a previous video, it's kind of funny to me how the Evia event and the Tech Rules event are going at the same time, and this is especially strange because the Evia event started before the Tech Rules one, and is also going to end after the Tech Rules one ends. So yes, we have not had the Tech Rules event without having the Evia event going at the same time for the whole time. And you know, I think that's actually another reason why a lot of people are simply ignoring the Evia event, because the Tech Rules event is newer and cooler and the car is better and all that, and while there are a lot of problems with it, I would say that it's definitely better than the event for the Evia. And more people are definitely going to get the car too. I mean, if you think about it, for the Grand Prix event, 3 out of every 40 people is going to end up getting the car, which is approximately 1 out of every 13 people who go into the event, which does not sound like a lot, but it's definitely better than what people are going to be doing in the Evia event, for example. Because to put it into perspective, say 42,000 people play the Tech Rules event. That means 3,000 of them are going to end up getting the car. Well, in the Evia multiplayer season, Ra1NMan told me that there were only about 40 or so people on the leaderboard. I suppose that could have gone up to 50 or so by the time the season ended, but that is a lot less. And the Tech Rules is definitely a much better car too. Now, there's some debate as to whether it will be the king of its class. Some people think it will, some people don't. I think it's going to be really close to the other 3 cars that are right at the top, which are the Aperta, Huayra, and Genti. And it's going to be quite difficult to rank them all. Because we've got another one of those situations where the car is slower, it goes 235, where cars like the Huayra, Genti, and Aperta all go faster than that, but the Tech Rules does have better acceleration than all of those cars. So on shorter, twistier tracks, there's a good possibility that it is going to be the new king. But on longer ones, there's a good chance that the Genti or Huayra is still going to be king. And the weird thing about those cars, the Genti and the Aperta in particular, is that most people haven't even really gotten to test those cars at max because their special events wouldn't really allow you to get them more than a few stars, so we haven't even seen the potential of those cars on a lot of tracks either, I feel like. On a different note, I've been thinking recently about making an Asphalt 9 garage video, because in my live streams, always somebody asks to see it and then I go through it usually, but it would be nice to have it all in one place. And also with Asphalt 8, I made a garage video about 1.5 years after playing the game, my garage then, and then another one after 3 years. And I think it would be kind of cool if I did that again with Asphalt 9, and it has been about 1.5 years after I started playing Asphalt 9 since its release on July 26, 2018, I believe. So I think that would be a good choice to do. So you may see a sort of garage video of this game sometime in the near future, probably after I hopefully get the Tech Rules. And I learned how to do something kind of unconventional with the color on a few cars in the game, so you will likely see that when that video comes out as well. I'm also definitely going to make a video about the Tech Rules, hopefully in a multiplayer season about it, if there is one after the one that is currently going on. If not, I will just do it in the classic season. You can definitely expect to see that, as well as probably one of it at 6 stars if there is somebody I can find who has done that, because mine is at 4 stars. Something interesting that some people have said about the Evia is that it looks like the biome from Asphalt 8, and I can definitely see that, especially on the back with those round things next to the wheels. It's not quite, but those shapes definitely do remind me of that of the biome. So now we are coming into our final race, and it's a good time for me to give my general review about this car. As I've said previously, it sits basically in between the Huracan and the Apollo, with better top speed than the Huracan and better acceleration, nitro efficiency, and handling than the Apollo. It's definitely not going to be the new overall king of B-Class, although I can definitely see it being king on a lot of tracks, along with the Huracan being king on the more twisty ones, and it is not especially an amazing car to drive from what I have seen. I've driven it some myself. It was okay. It kind of was like the VLF. That is one thing that some people have said, that it's basically like the rich man's VLF. That's basically what it feels like, because it has almost the same speed as the VLF, it has almost that same sort of weird stiffness as the VLF, which isn't super stiff, but it's enough that you can notice it and makes it not the most fun thing to drive, and so I can definitely see where they can get that from. Now back there, Ra1NMan wrecked, but he is catching up to this guy pretty close, so we'll have to see if he catches up to him by the end of the race. And for anyone who has been missing my Forza videos, earlier today I recorded a video in one of the more recent ones, and I think you guys will like it. Here Ra1NMan passes this guy and proceeds to take the victory. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to Ra1NMan for these races. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.